What's up guys, Mr. Reddito here. I have a very special video today and I'm so excited to get into it. The first story is an Am I the A-hole story, and the title is, Am I the A-hole for using my son's college fund to remodel my home? After that, we have another story that's about two sisters feuding. Apparently, in the past, OP has been kind of flirtatious with her sister's boyfriends. And guys, this one is no different. Let's get right into the stories. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. Here comes story number 1. I have consistently put money away from my kids' college fund since they were young. Their education was important to me. I worked very hard to get my degree and eventually my master's. I did not want my kids to be burdened or worried about funds when they went to school. My son got into a decent school and started off well. Then his grades started to slump and he said he was dropping out. He's now 23 and he's been bouncing from one odd job to the next. He took some blue-collar job and moved out with his girlfriend who's a waitress. Long story short, they ended up getting married. Then they both lost their jobs. I wasn't worried about it because they always seem to have money for sporting games, home decor, etc. My son told me that he and his wife were flat broke and severely in debt. True, they worked long hours, but they still weren't making enough to support their lifestyle. And it's more important to them to do fun things together. That is the crux of their relationship, because they're both very social and fun people. He also mentioned that their home needed repairs and both needed new cars. My son asked me to let him tap into what's remaining of the college fund to help them get out of the debt and fix their home and cars. There's about $45,000 left, and I told him no. That money was for college and not some newlywed slush fund. He had 2 years to go back to college, and he decided he did not want to. As I saw it, he forfeited the money, and I want to use it to remodel my house. I bit my tongue when he got married, dropped out of school, and took dead-end jobs. But I'm not bailing him out this time. Edit. I could care less what his wife does. Point is that she was making as much money as the person who started months before, and she's been there 3 years. Dear, dead-end job. And my son was a process engineer or whatever the heck that is. His place got shut down too. My son called me saying his wife's restaurant's closing permanently. She worked at the soup plantation. My son and his wife like having nice things. I feel like he was a bit spoiled, but he disagrees. He wants all the things he couldn't have as a kid, even though he cannot afford it. He does not get that I can afford stuff and he can't. Not the a-hole. That's my opinion, but here's why. In my opinion, OP said specifically she wants this money to go to her son's education. The son does not want to go to college. He wants to get married and start a family, which is totally okay. But I don't see the reasoning why OP is the wrong or the bad person or the a-hole for spending the money that she invested, she earned, and well, it's her money. If she wants to spend it on her house, then that's okay because, like I said, her son's not going to educate anymore. If you guys are enjoying the content so far, show some love for the channel and drop a like right below. Our next story is about two sisters who have some past relationship drama. Guys, let's get right into story number 2. What's up guys, Mr. Reddito here. Just a quick interruption. If you missed the last video, I dropped some crucial information. YouTube has demonetized our channel. We're working very hard with them and trying to get back to the partner program. I know this has been happening to a lot of narrators on YouTube recently, and it has shut down a lot of channels just because they can't do it anymore if they're not getting any money. Well, just know, Mr. Reddito is here to stay.
The show goes on! This is my home! They're gonna need a wrecking ball to take me out of here! They're gonna need to send in the National Guard or SWAT team, because I ain't going nowhere!
We are going to adapt to all the struggles and changes. We will be adding animation to the channel. We're not going anywhere. We will adapt and we will survive, and I'm going to be doing daily videos no matter what. So I love you all, and I cannot wait for the future here on Mr. Reddito. When I was in college, I had a rough patch with my sister Gabrielle, and we were both very mean and vindictive to each other. It started with an inheritance that was rightfully hers that my parents made her split with me. Long story short, she became resentful of having to share her money with me, and kept track of every dollar I spent. She even reported to my parents anytime I went out drinking with friends or doing anything I should not be doing, just so she could say, quote, "See, I told you we shouldn't have given her the money." I was 20 years old at the time and very resentful of having what felt like a PI intruding on my life and making my parents constantly yell at me. So I did the immature thing and kissed her boyfriend one Thanksgiving or Christmas. I can't even remember. 2 years later, when my sister and my relationship was improved but not perfect, we got in a petty fight before her birthday party, and I wound up flirting with her boyfriend as some kind of immature revenge. I remember the cringe faces of my friends as I was basically grinding with Gabrielle's boyfriend on the dance floor that night, and I'm still completely embarrassed of the memory, even though it was 5 years ago. Fast forward to now. My sister and I have a good relationship as we're both adults with confidence, stable careers, etc. It helps that we did not see each other as much because I moved across the country for several years. I've since moved back to the city close to our hometown, where my sister does live, and we've resumed weekly or bi-monthly dinners with the family on Saturdays or Sundays. 4 dinners ago, my mom was remarking on the state of our relationship now and commenting on how silly it was that we used to get on so poorly. My sister joked that I was a crappy human being, and I'm not that anymore. Her husband, Nick, reacted strongly to a crappy human being joke. So, in defense of her word choice, my sister revealed the thing about me kissing her boyfriend once and then grinding on another years later. I was a bit uncomfortable, but we all laughed and went on with the rest of the night. But since that dinner, I noticed Nick start to flirt with me. I can't even explain some of the moments because they were wordless, but I'll list the more blatant offenses below. Number 1. That night we were watching TV and he said I looked like a certain actress on television who, in that scene, happened to be wearing a very revealing outfit. I felt a little weird but figured I was the one being weird because he said it in front of my sister, and she did not even flinch. Number 2. Next time he came to hang in my room while mom and sister cooked downstairs. He has done this once or twice before, but this time he kept looking for pictures of my college days because he wanted to see what I looked like back when I was seducing Gabrielle's boyfriends. Number 3. He caught me going through my favorite fitness Instagrams, lots of booty shots I'll admit, and asked if I was watching porn. I said no, and he exaggerated a disappointment expression and said, "Let me know if you are." He got too close to me in the kitchen, and I said this exactly. You don't have to stand so close." To which he responded, "Is it okay if I do?" I said I preferred that he did not, and he made a narrowed eye face at me as if to convey being skeptical. I flat out said, "Why are you being weird?" He did not give me a real answer. I'm angry because he never really acted inappropriately around me before. We had a pretty good relationship and liked to talk about sports, movies, the like. I always felt he and my sister were a great match, and that he was a good husband overall. But now it seems he heard a story and saw it as a green light to start messing with me. I feel he sees me as someone whose word against him would be invalid because of my history. And I want very badly to prove him wrong, and just tell my sister and even parents what's happening. But I don't feel that any of his offenses thus far sound big enough to report to someone at all. At the same time, I don't want to keep going to dinner and just be waiting to be harassed in one way or the other. Just so I can point it out. I'm livid and I'm a little embarrassed and I don't know which way is the best to approach the situation. I'm not comfortable telling anyone I know about this, so I appreciate any insight or advice. Hey guys, so this was a very interesting story. I want to go ahead and say yay for OP. The way that she handled this creep by saying, "Why are you being so weird?" was so amazing. I just kept getting red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag after red flag from this guy. Yes, I understand OP's relationship with her sister in the past was rocky, and she did some questionable things with the relationship of her boyfriends. But this is years later, they've repaired their relationship, and this creep says, "You know what? I'll go ahead and try my best at this." What do you guys think of this situation? Drop your comments down below and tell me exactly what you would do if you were OP. In my opinion, I think she needs to come clean right now, tell her sister what he said and what he's doing and the way he's acting before this escalates any further. That's all the stories I have for you guys today. I hope everyone has an amazing day, and just know, Mr. Reddito is here forever. I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Have a great night.